Hello, this is Horror Studio 1, and this is my unedited podcast. Hello guys, this is Horror Studio 1 coming to you once again with the unedited podcast. Now today is going to be a very unique unedited podcast because it is the first time in the unedited podcast where I am editing my face into the video. So even though that this podcast, the audio will have no edits, even the whole thing will have no edits, but I will have different two camera angles that we're working with. So today, I usually don't talk about this kind of stuff, and I'm not really those kinds of channels that does this stuff. But I found one point that I really want to talk about today. So let's talk about the topic that everyone has been talking about on the YouTube platform. Let's try to get some views. So if you guys don't know, on August 25th, there is the Logan Paul versus the KSI fight. Now before the start of this fight, I already know how it's going to end. The reason I'm so confident in saying that I know how it's going to end is because I have a conspiracy theory regarding this fight. So I guess that comes to the topic of horror channels. I don't know, conspiracy theories, whatever. I think that the Logan Paul versus KSI fight will have two results, and each result will indefinitely make each person's career better. Okay, let me just say before I start to say this, I am not criticizing, well, I am kind of criticizing. I am not saying that this is 100% true or a fact. I'm just saying these are my opinions, that if this were the case, okay, if this this outcome of this fight were this specific way, it would be the biggest help to both of these guys and their careers. I feel that, for my own personal opinion, in the end, the Logan Paul versus KSI fight, Logan Paul will lose and KSI will win. And that, in my opinion, has to happen. And only if that happens will this fight be worth it for both of these YouTubers. Now, one reason I think that that's the case is because, for those of you guys who know or keep up with this whole, YouTube social media thing, you guys will know who Logan Paul is. The guy was the guy that did the suicide forest thing in the forest. And for the past year, since, January of 2018, the guy has been trying to rebuild his career. He's been trying to salvage his image as this guy who, doesn't like to desecrate dead corpses. And he's been trying to play the victim, like the serious role. He's, his usual antics of going over the top, he's less than that. He stopped the daily vlogging. In my opinion, his whole team is telling him to try to save his career. The only way, well, which has not been working, by the way, but the only way I feel that he will be able to save his career is if he fights and he loses. Because if let's say Logan Paul wins this fight, it actually won't do anything for his career. Because his persona right now, and has been for the past couple years on YouTube, has been this boisterous, bravado, kind of jock type character. If he wins a fight against, this kid from Bryn or something, not little kid, but this kid from Bryn, it's not really going to help him with his career. People are still going to think he's an asshole. He's not going to be able to rehabilitate that, rebuild that, that human part of his career. And you can see by what he's been doing in his past press conference and all that stuff, he is essentially trying to play kind of the victim. He's been trying to play like the down guy, like the guy that's like getting picked on kind of thing. Before he was always the guy picking on the people, but he knows that by doing that it'll just destroy his career even more. And now he's trying to play the other guy. That is what I feel that he's trying to do. Thus, in order for this to have any impact on his career, besides obviously making the tons of money that they're making, he has to lose this competition. As for KSI, in my opinion, he has to win the competition. Because for him, he has, how he makes videos, I'm not really a big fan of him, but I know that he doesn't do like daily content. I know that he's doesn't do content that's, well, I mean, in the past few years anyways, because he's been a gamer all his life, and obviously the past few years gaming hasn't been the most popular trend anymore. So I feel like his only way to the next level of his career is if he even said himself he wants to go professional boxing. And the only way he could do that is by proving himself, by beating Logan Paul in this fight. I feel the very end, for Jake Paul and Deji, their fight, Jake Paul's going to win. And then KSI is going to beat Logan Paul. That will be the perfect like retribution for his brother. And it also set the stage for Logan Paul, him moving on to his next stage in his career, which is, you know, acting or playing the more sympathetic character, or like actually showing people that he's learned and he's grown, and that can be a part of his story. He's even making a documentary about that, right? So I feel like losing would be the perfect way for him to save his image, and of course for KSI, winning would be the best way for him to go to the next level. Now, I feel like this is like a conspiracy theory that I have. I think that it's already, you know, the fight is kind of fake, and they already have these all set up. Because why else would you risk that, in my opinion? Like, you're like one of the biggest creators on the platform. You got like 19 million, 18 million subs respectively. Why would you go to the lengths to risk the chance of being ridiculed for life if you lose this competition? Because you have a chance of losing. And I feel like that this strategic planning by both, and I'm not talking about like them as individual YouTubers have this plan. I feel like their respective teams are the ones that are orchestrating this, you know, this big deal, this big show, and they're just going through with it. And it's just so conspiracy theory is an explanation of an event or a situation that invokes an unwarranted conspiracy, generally involving an illegal or harmful act carried out by the government or other powerful actors. Conspiracy theories often produce hypotheses that contradict the prevailing understanding of history or simple facts. Yeah, so this is sort of just my conspiracy theory on this whole thing, that this is how it's played out. And again, it's not on the respective guys themselves. It's just mostly, it's the best thing for each of their teams as well. So that's just some of my opinions on it. If you guys don't like it, you know, if you're either fans or whatever, go for it in the comments. I don't know, but this is really just my opinion on how this thing will ultimately end. So yeah, that's that's a podcast for today. Usually I don't get into these kinds of topics, but I felt like, you know, everyone's been talking about it, so why not? So yeah, that's it. I'll talk to you guys soon. Horror Studio 1. Bye.